So this is what we did during the day. So we're going to move to a while loop. So while loop, so in while loop, we're going to be dealing, when we talk about while loop, it's about repeating while loop. So anything to do with loop, it means about repeat. You're gonna be repeating. When we say repeating, it can be a repetition of numbers. It can be a repetition of maybe some and one thing that you wanted to keep repeating. For example, if you want to write a program whereby it prints hello, like this way again, it prints hello and hello and hello, maybe 5 times. You can use a while loop. Let's say 5 times. You can use a while loop to write this kind of program. So in while loop, in order for you to write this, you must know about the increment. We have something called increment. So you must know about the increment. Increment means decrease, increase. And when we say increase, in this computer science, when you see something, if I'm using x, if I declare it as an x, I say x plus plus, this means it's going to increment by, it will increment or it will increment by 1. So this increment, you can write the same way I did. It's the same thing as you can write x equals to x plus 1 plus 1. It's still the same thing. So for decrement and in increment, you can also control how many times you want to increment it. Let's say, for example, you want it to increase by 3. Let's say you are starting at this number, you are starting at number 1, then you want it to add 3 until the end. You can just say x equals to x plus what, plus 3. Then it's going to add by 3 until it reaches the condition is false. That's for increment. Let's go to decrement. Decrement means decrease. So for decrease, you write x minus minus. So in x minus minus, you can write is x equals to x minus 1. Let me just accept those who are late. You can write as x minus 1. So this is for decrement. So you can also decide to decrement by 4. It's up to you. You can just x equals to x minus 4, like that. It's up to you. It's up to the question. It depends on the question, what the question wants. So for decrement and increment. So now in the while loop, you can control a while loop using an increment and decrement. So what I mean, if you have a let's say for example, I know that I want to print hello up 5 times hello. I can say, I can say int x or int y. You can use any letter you want in x or anything that you want in x equals to 1. So when I say int x equals to 1, I can say while my x is less equals to 5, because I want 5. Because I know that if I say less equals to 5, it's going to end exactly when x is less equals to 5. After when x is 6, it's gonna be false. So if I have to write, sometimes I'm gonna show you some tricks how it works. So after that, if I can just say see out like hello, like this, hello, without an increment, this loop is going to be like repeating. It's going to be an infinity loop. It's gonna be an infinity loop. So in order for it not to be infinity loop and it does what we want, because there is nothing that is gonna be adding or incrementing this one or decrementing it. So which means it's gonna be an infinite loop in such a way that we need to have an increment or decrement in your function. but when you build it, it will be fine. There will be no errors. But when you run it, it won't do what exactly we want. It's going to be printing hello, hello until your computer crashes. So in order to do that, you must add this one is just to make them to be in the new line. You must add an increment. We must increment it. We can increment x plus plus. Then it's gonna add one until it's gonna do exactly what we want. So if you build it, run it, you will see that it's gonna print 5 hellos. So if, for example, I can start with 1, with 5 here, I'm just showing you if I want to use a decrement. Then if my x is great equal to 1, is 5 great equals to 1 is gonna be true. So if my x is great equals to 1, 5 is great equals to 1, then I can use a decrement. I say it must decrease until this statement is what is false. So what will happen? It will keep subtracting one by one until it's 0 is great equals to 1, then it's false, it's stop. So I'm building it as you can see. Then if I run it, you will see it's still gonna print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I use the decrement method instead of increment. So it depends. Sometimes, for example, as someone can put 0 here, then after that you say someone put, you say it's less than 5. So it's going to start at 5, but it didn't put less equal sign there. Less, it just said less 5, less than 5. So it's still gonna print 5 hellos because it's going to say 0, 1, 2, 3. When it's 4, it's gonna be 5 of them, and when it's 5, it's gonna be false. So those are the tricks that you need to take into account when you are dealing with a while loop or with an increment. And not only while loop, even when, if you check here now, it's giving us an infinity loop, because here we decreased, we were incrementing, we decrement, we didn't increment. So we can build it now, it's gonna be fine. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what happens in a while loop? It's a while loop. Inside it says condition, what condition, and the statements. That's all you need to know about the while loop. So in while loop, you can add, for example, you can print numbers to those who attended before. And if you want to print, you can print also the same numbers. We can say it's going to start at 1, it's going to print 1, then it comes as 2. Is 2 less than 5? It found that is true, then it print 2 like that until 5. So if we run it, you will see that it's print 1 up to 5. It's incrementing that number coming until when it's false, it stopped. For example, you can have a question, as I said, for that you can print even numbers from 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You can just change, you start at 2, you change to 10, is x less than 10, then your increment, then your increment is gonna be up to, you have to increment by 2, because you have to take 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then which means we can say x equals to x plus 2. Then if we build this, then we can run it. You will see that it's 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Can you see that? So that's how you do it when you have a while loop. So in the while loop, we can also add, subtract, average. Just give me 1 minute, I'm coming. Do not go to the class.